So welcome everyone to this panel discussion on European digital innovation hubs and capacities and skills. It is my honor to guide you through this hopefully interesting discussion, interesting panel discussion about what EDIs can do and what can they bring to the skills table, so to say, and how can they help with the industry with their digital transformation. So my name is Maurice Butter. I work for TNO, but I'm also the scientific coordinator of the DNet project. And the DNet project is a commission-funded project to support the European Commission with strengthening the Digital Innovation Hub network, the European Digital Innovation Hub network. So before I give the floor to the panelists, I would like to give a short introduction about some backgrounds on European digital innovation hubs and also some backgrounds on the session itself. So let me first address the objective of the session. We think it is important to understand the European digital innovation hubs, the new so-called kids on the block, that will be important to further help digitizing the European industry. So we would like to improve the understanding of what a European Digital Innovation Hub is and how can they help also the regional ecosystems and Europe at large with the enhancement of the capacities and capabilities to support the industry. But we also hope that the panel discussion will showcase how the audience, your members, can participate in those European digital innovation hubs and how they can, the European digital innovation hubs can improve their contributions to the European industry in their journey to become digitalized. So, so why EDIs? Before we start talking about the skills, why the EDIs? We see two main roles, two main functions of the European digital innovation hubs, EDIs, within how they perform. So the first role is focused on the region. It is the function of the EDIs is about enhancing the capacities and capabilities of the regions to uptake advanced digital technologies like artificial intelligence, like cloud computing, like HPC, security. But it also has a second function, and that's the European function. There's a lot going on in Europe on digital transformation, and there's a lot of capacities available in Europe. And the EDIs play an important role as a kind of a gatekeeper from other regions to also enable the region to make use of the capacities from other regions, and also the vice versa. So making available their capacities to other regions. And all it is about helping the industry and society at large benefiting optimally from the digitization technologies, digital technologies, to enhance competitiveness, but also address societal challenges. Because it's not, the EDIs are not only focused on industry, they are also focused on helping public sectors, the public sectors, with their digitization issues to become more efficient and more effective. So that's about why the EDIs. And now the skills. We think, and a lot of study is done in that respect, we think that skills are critical for the uptake of advanced digital technologies. We see in many cases that although there are beautiful, wonderful innovations available, that the lack of high expertise within an SME, within a mid-cap or another company is prohibiting the taking up the benefits from that advanced digital technologies. But the European digital innovation hubs are, as I said, also looking at a European role. And there a second element of the skills emerges. It is about helping the EDIs among themselves to better understand how that uptake can be delivered. So it's not about only, but the skills are not only about the deployment towards the industry and helping the industry as such, but it's also helping each other how to improve that function to the industry. And then there's a third element, and that's EU collaboration. There's a lot of capacities and skills made available through all kinds of European projects. And those European projects can offer a lot of capacities and capabilities. The EDIs are there as a kind of an in-between from those technologies that are offered in the European context. So the Digital Europe program is very much focused on that, but also Horizon Europe will be focusing on that. And it's taking stock of the things that are developed in that European context and bring it towards the regions. The EDIs are seen as a crucial element for that. So that's about the skills. And let me now introduce the session a little bit more. We've got a wonderful set of people, experts in the field of the skills and European collaboration and regional, enhancing the regional capacities. Annemarie Sasse will be there talking about introducing the a little bit further the European Digital Innovation Hub concept. She's one of the key players in the Digital Innovation Hub strategy of the European Commission. She's now coordinated as Deputy Head of Technologies and Systems for Digitizing Europe. She is now coordinating the EDI strategy. And she also coordinates the work of the European Commission, member states and regions in setting up a network of those digital innovation hubs. So Valencia Grilla, Grilea, I hope I pronounced that in the right way, is the head of scouting and matching of BW EU in Germany. She's in charge of several international initiatives and coordinating the DT2 Invest Launchpad initiative that is also promoted by the European Commission to develop an investment program for artificial intelligence and blockchain technologies. These are the advanced digital technologies I just talked about. And she is also scouting matchmaking actions together with UC Berkeley on AIT, AOT, AI, and the BT sectors. So we are looking forward to her speech on these kind of issues and what the EDIs mean for her environment. So you already hopefully know Isabella Milewska from Amazon Web Services. She gave a keynote speech just earlier in the conference. She is heading, just a short introduction still to her, she's heading the Global Digital Skills Leadership in Training and Certification of the Amazon Web Services. And she's also the chair of the Digital Skills Working Group at Digital Europe since 2018. So she knows about the collaboration between public and private and how you can make use of each other in a better way to enhance the take-up of the advanced digital technologies. So I'm also very much looking forward to that. And last but not least, Simon Boissep from Untitled EU. He is, for a long time, about over 10 years, a facilitator and coach of startups. And we all know, I think, that startups are important to make use of those digital technologies in a good way to the European industry. He's in charge of setting up collaborative projects in the field of digital and territorial development, and in charge of also a digital innovation hub that Atlantipol is coordinating in the Pays de la Loire region. So he will be offering his expertise, his operational expertise in setting up those digital innovation hubs and how to set up collaborations with startups. So this is an introduction to the session. The session includes 3 elements. So first, there's going to be the panelists are going to introduce their views on some specific topics. Then there will be a panel discussion, but also in the end, there will be also an opportunity to meet the speakers afterwards. And you can later on click on the link for that. So Annemarie, can I ask you to share your insights?
Yes, Maurits, thank you very well for your introduction, and good afternoon, everybody. So I will elaborate a little bit further about, first of all, what a digital innovation hub is and how it can address this problem of a lack of skills within our industry and our public sector to use fully to their benefit digital innovations. Because we see very big differences in uptake of digital technologies. First of all, if you look at the difference between SMEs or large companies, we see that SMEs take up digital innovations much less than large companies, but there are also regional differences. So in some regions, take up of companies is very well, but in other regions, it's really very low. There's also a difference between sectors. So all these differences we would like to address by building, together with the member states and the regions, a network of digital innovation hubs. There should be around 200 digital innovation hubs everywhere in Europe, near to every company or public administration. And what will they do? They will provide technological expertise and experimentation facilities to enable the digital transformation. So here you see a picture with 4 functions of digital innovation hubs, and I would like to explain 2 of them. The first one is test before invest. So as we said, a lack of skills is one of the reasons why companies are not investing in digital technologies. They just don't know things, the changes in technology go so fast, and also they have no feeling yet of what this can really mean for them. And therefore, one of the functions that the digital innovation hubs will provide is to give this company the possibility to test out real digital innovations in their own production process. For instance, they get the possibility to use a certain robot for 2 weeks, 1 month into their production processes, so that they can really see what this brings to them. They can then also make a return on investment analysis and later on see if they want to invest in it further. So this will bring certainly a certain type of skills, but it also does more. The second function which I want to explain is then the skills and training. So if this company really wants to have this robot or wants to have 2 or 3 robots, they also need to train their people to be able to work with this robot. And that is what we see more in the skills and training, so that training developers will develop a specialized package for this company to train all their employees to work with this new innovation, this robot, for instance. So this will happen everywhere at a local scale. And this requires, of course, this will develop the skills of the companies which are working with the Digital Innovation Hub. But the Digital Innovation Hub themselves, they also need to have all the skills to be able to do this. And in our network of Digital Innovation Hubs, there will be lots of opportunities for the Digital Innovation Hubs to improve their own skills, to improve their own capacity to do this. And I first want to explain the blue circle which we see on this picture, and that are the 200 digital innovation hubs that are working together, that like Maurits said, that are collaborating, that are sharing their best practices, and that where one can really learn from another. So if in one region there's a particularly good setup to help SMEs, for instance, using these robots, other regions could copy this setup. It can also be the case that there is a specialization in one of the other digital innovation hub which is not available locally, but which one SME would need. In that case, the hub with that specialization can help a local company. Then they will always get the best possible support, the right competences to really be helped in a professional manner. This will also help sharing resources available everywhere, and all regions can invest in what is important for them, their own and develop their own specialization. So this is really a very powerful model of making sure that everywhere in Europe we have the right type of support, but that also everybody can focus on their own specialization. So this sharing of best practices and this working together will improve the skills everywhere of the Digital Innovation Hub. But then the second level will be that they are part of Digital Europe program, where we invest in digital capacities, for instance, in high-performance computers, in artificial intelligence, in cybersecurity and trust, and that the specialists of, for instance, the HPC centers, they will also train all the digital innovation hubs on how local companies could make use of the resources of these high-performance computing centers, or how they could make use of the resources which are developed for artificial intelligence. So every local digital innovation hubs will be trained by specialists on how to use capacities and developments which are available to all companies in all regions, so that then they can disseminate further the use of all these capacities, and all companies everywhere can benefit. So this is a second level of development of skills and of capacities of the digital innovation hubs, which we see very important for the whole digital transformation, because the technologies which I just mentioned, they will be the key to the digital transformation. So Maurits, this is what I wanted to tell you as the vision that we have on the network of digital innovation hubs.
Thank you, Annemarie. I think it's a wonderful overview of how the regional capacities can work together in a European context to ensure that our European industry and the public sector can benefit from those advanced technologies. So, Valentina, please take control and explain us a little bit how it will be done on the actual level of an entity, a possible digital innovation hubs. I'm very interested to that.
Yes, thank you very much, Maurice. I hope you can hear me. So I will have just one slide as background, and then I will follow up to touch different aspects about how we in Baden-Württemberg set up different initiatives with regard to digital innovation apps, but also with regards to building capacities and skills. Few words about myself, thanks also for the introduction, but also about my companies or the companies that I represent. BWCon stands for Baden-Württemberg Connected. So we are based in the southwest region of Germany. We have different offices spread along the regions, because we were already born more or less 20 years ago as an association of companies. We can count right now around 600, 700 members from Mittelstand, so mid-cap, to corporate, but also a lot of startup we work close to. We have different focus. We have a specific focus on mobility, big data, Internet of Things, engineering, healthcare, and energy. And more or less 6 years ago, we created the private institute, the BWCon GmbH, which allow us also to spread a little bit all the activities we were able to do before as association. And since 6 years, we are quite more active in supporting the startups, let them meet with investors, and also to provide a spectrum of services, such as also trainings and capacity building to our members and other companies from our regions. just because it's related to the deep tech you were mentioning, artificial intelligence and blockchain. 3 years ago, we created also a research institute, really focused on applied research. So we work closely on the specific pilot project that comes out from the industry in cooperation with ourselves, our experts from the research side, but also some other research institute from Baden-Württemberg. And this is just to give you an idea of the background of the companies behind myself. And with regards to digital innovation hubs, I would classify our experience more such as a bottom-up experience. We, before 2017, I would say, we were really building ecosystem in the regions, mainly pushed by the demand of our network, of our members. They were needed to be in touch to develop some specific skills and so on, and we were doing this. Then we were also involved in some regional initiatives, which were labeled digital innovation apps, and we are right now involved in 4 different initiatives. I would like to mention just 2 type of initiatives which represented 2 different examples. One is represented by the digital innovation apps that we are coordinating together with some partners in the area of Freiburg, so is in the regions close to the France, such as also Switzerland, so in the southwest part of Baden-Württemberg. And we are part of a standard digital innovation apps, which is like a project base where we get funding by the regional, the Minister of Economics from Baden-Württemberg. We have a specific project plan. We develop some trainings to increase the digitalization process of the companies. And we are now discussing also a kind of sustainability plan of this type of project. So we are thinking about how to make it sustainable, how to make the services that we are offering to our clients or target group at this stage sustainable on the long term. Another interesting example of really bottom-up initiatives is that in parallel to these regional initiatives, regional innovation apps, 3 years ago, some industry players from the area of Kunzelsau, which is not really famous from the most of you, most likely, but is the area or the cities where Wurt has been created. And with some industry players such as Wurt Industry, Wurt Holding, IBM Pubs, which is also a big delivery companies from the manufacturing, we created digital innovation apps, which is private owned. So we don't get any money from the regions, and since the beginning the industry committed themselves with the interest to work on the excubation process that aims in developing the regions from the internal competencies of the companies, but also involving external players. And as artificial intelligence and blockchain was also, let's say, mentioned, such as the driven push technology with regards to digital innovation apps, we have also noticed that speaking of from the members of our network, we realized that already, let's say 5-6 years ago, there was the interest and the needs to learn more about these deep technologies. The scope was different than right now. So before there was the push to use, for example, artificial intelligence to increase and to accelerate the production. Right now, impacted by the COVID, of course, we are experiencing that a lot of companies come to us to understand better how artificial intelligence and blockchain solution can really be stimulating the changes that they are facing. They do have a lot of employees that are now, let's say, less focus on the production due to the crisis, and in this specific time is really where we were already able to offer a specific training course in cooperation with the Chamber of Commerce from the regions on the use of artificial intelligence with regard to developing new business models. And on top of this, we have also, as you also mentioned, Maurice, we have also developed a few years ago a collaboration with UC Berkeley, which will allow us to establish establish a DIH lab, which is really an open innovation lab that will allow members from our community, but also from Europe, to work together in identifying data business, so business and new business model based on the use of data analysts and so on. So these are more or less the experience that we are facing, and we have put in place in our regions. It's let's say started from the bottom, started from Baden-Württemberg, but we are open to work closely also at the international level, and I hope this will be the first steps for us also to exchange our cases with other players. So I think these are my content, and I'm happy to give back to you the floor, Maurice.
Thank you, Valentina. I think it's a wonderful, you've got a wonderful organization that is at the heart of a European Digital Innovation Hub to support European collaboration and take that into the national level. So the next speaker, Isabella, I think we'll be able to share with us some insights in how the more non-for-profit organizations like the European Digital Innovation Hubs are, how they can work together with more commercial companies. So if we can start the presentation again. Yes.
While we are waiting for the slides to be, yeah.
Perhaps
while we wait for
the already.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, and yeah, I appreciate that. Hopefully, a lot of you already have seen my presentation, so I don't want to spend too much time like covering the details of it. But I really wanted to focus on the two major points where I do see the role of both private sector and the digital innovation hubs to collaborate together. First of all, when we think about digital skills and all of the spectrum of those, we may think also about how necessary the digital literacy is, and that's a sort of a common denominator as well as a default setup from where we just get started. But obviously this is not enough, and that's why I welcome the Digital Europe program, which hopefully will allow to spread digital skills on the more advanced level. That's where we see cloud skills being part of the sort of solution, but also a way to help professionals, individuals, companies start their journey from being digital users and turn over to become digital creators, in which not only we use the technology as such, but we also create new solutions, new ideas, new innovation that will help Europe become even more competitive and produce more digital leaders at the end of the day. And so this is where I see definitely a role for digital innovation hubs to promote the advanced digital skills, where the technology innovation fits the most, as well as help to do that at scale. Because obviously, as a sort of industry representative and in general representative of the digital sector, we know that the lack of or insufficient level of digital skills prohibits many companies from adopting cloud, adopting innovation. And I think it was mentioned earlier that the lack of skills is on one hand not allowing the companies, small and medium businesses, to to be aware of that technology innovation that they can use in their businesses. But on the other hand, those small and medium businesses that have that awareness or have that knowledge of cloud, artificial intelligence, but simply do not have access to enough talent on the market, they just are not able to innovate as fast as they could if they would have the access to that talent. And so the other element that is important in that aspect of collaboration is the understanding that, for instance, cloud skills are critical for digital transformation in a way that not only it introduces a new skill set in terms of the technical knowledge, the technical skills, but also triggers some new behavior, such as ability to manage the change, ability to work in an ambiguous environment. And it is to say that it's very much helping to speed up the digital transformation, because that process is not just about introducing technology as such. It is actually about people and processes that needs to adapt and change. And that's where the digital skills area is so important. I believe that digital innovation hubs are having a huge role to play, bringing together all the local, regional, and European stakeholders and act to introduce models and programs, initiatives that will allow to, for instance, train the trainer, and then to be able to put those skills to work at scale, so that at the end of the day, no one is left behind. And also with that open-minded approach that we focus not only on the ICT professionals when we talk about medium and advanced digital skills, we are looking at a diverse talent, at social groups that may or may not have had anything to do with technology before, but we need to bring them along and connect them with that digital world of jobs and of innovation, because that's what the businesses need. Having not enough skills means not enough talent on the market, and therefore we should just do everything we can in order to bridge that gap and produce the new digital talent that small and medium businesses desperately need right now in order to make sure that they adopt cloud or adopt other technology innovation and move along with their digital transformation, as well as embrace all the opportunities that the digital world brings upon them. So that would be from my end, just to conclude also and sort of finish what I was talking about in the keynote this morning. Hopefully that will also trigger some questions that I'll be very happy to answer and have a discussion with all of you in a moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella. I think it's a very good speech to stimulate the people to really think about the digital skills and how to make use of the capacities of digital skills in order to support the industry with their digital transformation. So I come to the last speaker, last but not least, I would say, because Simon, I think your expertise with the starters can share some ideas of how we can involve the startup community and how skills can be an important part of making sure that those startups will be also enhancing the competitiveness of the industry at large. So Simon, please.
Thank you, Marit. Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm very happy to be here to share you some feedbacks about our DIH. It's a new one as every DIH in Europe. To start, I will give you some key figures about Atlampol. So we are accredited by the French Ministry of Research as incubators in Western France and business innovation centers. And last year, we supported more than 100 company and startups projects, which around 20% in fintechs and healthcare, 50% in energy, and the other in ICT and technology. So currently, I'm coordinating the DIH project at Atlampol. And this DIH is called DIVA for Digital Innovation Hubs and Digital Value Accelerator. So we consider today that DIH is it's a powerful tool which can help create a modern dynamic, therefore making a huge difference to the success of the company. So our DIH is made up of several organizations in our country, as competitiveness clusters, a chamber of commerce, incubators, and so on, and also university, because as we say, the skills are very important for DIH. So we specialize by using artificial intelligence technology to help companies, startups, and SMEs, and big company to be more competitive in our market, in their markets. So our objective in skills is to provide a list of services to help digitalization. And so we have in our territories a lot of skills in digitalization and computing sciences, but we have to organize them. So in order to organize these services, Yes, so I'm sorry about that. At the beginning of the process, we think that it is very important to, and we work to identify the digital maturity level of companies, and we'll use two assessment tools maturity. So the first one is very generalized, and the second one will be dedicated to artificial intelligence. So for this, and for us, it's very important to have these tools to follow companies and to propose service adapted to their needs. So artificial intelligence maturity assessment tools will use tools with which are already developed in a European program, and with DHNet and Image Réseau clusters. So European program and a seminar organized by European Commission, we think that it's very good to know each other and to set up partnerships for sharing of services, and more specifically in local ecosystem, in order to facilitate collaboration between the partners of our DIH. We are going to set up an operational monitoring committees for companies. Depending to corporate needs, we will determine together the implementation of a support path. And we feel that BICS plays an extremely important role within the DIH, especially when it comes to access to financial services, as the objective to facilitate access to funding for DIH customers, and also to facilitate the networking of actors. And most of the BICS are in European networks such as EBN. This allows us to discuss about our offer expertise to facilitate the establishment of collaboration. So to conclude, a large part of DIH services are already provided by BICs, by incubators, but this is very important to organize this service offers, and I think we have a big role to do that in DIH. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. I think the panelists have shown quite some interesting thoughts about the European Digital Innovation Hubs and what the Digital Innovation Hubs can do on the capacities, but I would like to bring it one step further. So I would like to ask the panelists, what are the most important activities that the Digital Innovation Hubs, the European Digital Innovation Hubs, can do to increase the capacities and in particular with the skills to the both the industry in the region, as well as how to coordinate it among the Digital Innovation Hubs, European Digital Innovation Hubs. So who can give the floor for that? Annemarie.
If you want.
Yes,
I think the way we foresee this networking and how the system of the European Digital Innovation Hubs works answers to your question. So first of all, so we will have a network of 200 Digital Innovation Hubs everywhere in Europe, near every company. And every Digital Innovation Hub should have their own specialization. And this specialization, they choose it based on the strengths that they already have in that region, addressing also the needs of the industry in the region. So for instance, if it is a manufacturing region, it's very likely that all these companies need to go to Industry 4.0. And if then if there are also competences in this area, this would be a logical specialization of that region. And by choosing that specialization, the hub then will already be able to help most of these companies together, forming like they don't need to address one by one, but they can look at value chains or groups of companies or clusters of companies to make the whole digital transformation go faster, because it's very important in this that we also go very fast. And so this local specialization, that's one, it will address a lot of needs, but it cannot address all the needs, because if there are other companies who are not in manufacturing, they might have totally different needs. And these then can be addressed by another Digital Innovation Hub in the network that would have that type of competences. So by making them network, by making them collaborate, we can take care of this situation. And then a second level, what I want to say, it's not only helping companies, because this will also lead to new innovations. So if the example of the manufacturing, the Industry 4.0, if that's the specialization and companies are working together in this area to test out new innovations, also totally new innovations will happen, and they will develop new products and services, which might also be very useful in other companies that are working in the manufacturing sector. So they are developing some excellence, and these could be services that SMEs provide, startups, or large companies. But it would be very good if they don't stay in their local region, but they are brought to the European level, and there are other companies somewhere else in Europe who could use these innovation. And by that will also be facilitated, that type of interaction through the network, where not only local SMEs will work with each other, but also other SMEs in Europe, suppliers and users or small value chains that work together and innovate these products together. So we will also create new value chains and opportunities for SMEs to work with companies all over Europe with this network. So this was my response to you, Maurits.
Yeah, thank you, Annemarie. So can I ask Valentina, if you look at this, how would you how would you see it as making it operational? So how would you see your organization be a partner in this European network and European game to enhance both your region as well as other regions?
Yeah. Thanks. I was really reflecting on the discussion right now also, because as I mentioned, we already are putting in place some initiatives which are not yet, let's say, labeled under the official European Digital Innovation Apps. So the interest of the companies we are talking to is, first of all, to get support. I can say something not politically correct, is the same if they get support from our side, so from the local level to European level, but they need to have answers. And this is what we will be, my institution, such as other institutions like ours, let's say, open also to understand what is offering the European Commission to complete the offer that is available in Baden-Württemberg, and to be able to promote this type of solutions to the type of companies that we cannot satisfy because, for example, are not really focused on the artificial intelligence solution or blockchain solution, where we are quite, let's say, already active in it. So I was also mentioning my short interventions, the interest we do have to look abroad is, first of all, to learn what is there, to try to import in the regions what works better in the other regions, but also what is available for the clients of our members, and on the other side also to share with the other digital innovation apps what we have done, because maybe someone is still facing the same issues we have already let's say answered with regards to, for example, this use of advanced training to offer to the employees in this phase of Corona. So these are for sure opportunities that we are looking for, and we would be able to be shared at the international level.
Okay, thank you, Valentina. So I'm also thinking about the contributions of the more commercial industry. So just commercial service providers, and luckily we have such a kind of organization in the panel. So Isabella, can I ask you what you see are because the collaboration between just service providers outside of a European Digital Innovation Hub, because the European Digital Innovation Hub is more a non-for-profit, but I see that there's a very important role for companies such as you. Could you tell us a little bit how the collaboration between those entities could be organized?
Of course, thank you for this question. I think it's very valid. So as industry provider or service provider, you may think of different ways how we can collaborate and partner with the network of digital innovation hubs. First of all, I want to say that even though companies such as Amazon Web Services are considered obviously as private organizations, we do have a set of education programs that are focused on CSR activities, and that is in our best interest in order to educate as many people on the market as possible, in order for them to be able to embrace the skills, the knowledge, and put it into action. And so education is first. Second, collaboration and true private public partnership is, I think, a recipe for success. I believe that in particularly in terms of the skills area, one won't be able to deliver on a successful skills program if not for the connection to the employment and the demand for those skills among the employers. And as Amazon Web Services, not only we deliver on the industry-led certification that indicates how to validate your skills and help to progress career and also help employers to look for this talent, but also we do have around the globe and of course in Europe a network of local training providers as well as local partners, and this is the sort of the core focus here. So all those small and medium businesses that take the sort of IT infrastructure or cloud services and build customized solutions and then deliver it to the market. Connecting them within the so-called value chain, as it was mentioned earlier, and plugging them into it so that not only those customized solutions are being built, created, but that the uptake on the market is sort of guaranteed because it is demand driven. And that's what I think is one of the key roles that industry providers can have, that is to create that demand, help to create the supply both of services and the talent and match them together.
Okay, thank you, Isabel. So what you're saying is that you can, as a industry service provider, you can play a very important role in the development, taking up the developed innovative new services into actual business, and that you play a very important role in that. I think that's would be a valuable contribution to the European Digital Innovation Hub. So thank you for that. Simon, so you've been working with startups quite a bit. So what I see with the European Digital Innovation Hubs is that startups are an important boosting organization to innovativeness in the region, and taking also some advanced technologies really into business. And what are the most important things you can see an EDI doing to support those startups?
Yes, I think, yes, if I understand how the DIH can support startups and boost activities, yes, I think it's a good way to accelerate the business, European business for startups, but we have to know each other. I will, for DIH, for example, we had to know each DIH, the specialties, industry specialties, technology specialties. So I think it's very important, and we also need to understand the needs of companies, startups, or SMEs to offer the best services. And as Isabella said, I think we have to collaborate with private services because we can't do all the services by ourselves. So it's very important to collaborate to find the good services in the good way, the good business case also for companies. So it's a huge project. It's difficult, I think, to implement, but it's a very, very interesting challenge to build a European network for digitalization.
Sorry, thank you, Simon. So thank you all for your comments. I would like to finalize the panel discussion. What I just heard and all the discussions we just had, although very briefly, I think it is crucial that the European Digital Innovation Hubs become a very important player in the European network of service providers. I think they are crucial to coordinate the service delivery within the regions, but also to try to include the industry service providers, as well as other stakeholders that are there, in order to efficiently take the wonderful advanced technologies, digital technologies, and converge them into the business, the actual business. And I think that creating a collaboration on the European level, the pan-European level, trying to initiate inter-regional collaborations, it's a challenge. And we still need to work on that and how to make that possible. But to be honest, I cannot wait until we can start with working together under the umbrella of the European Digital Innovation Hubs, and hopefully starting in the with the calls in January. The DNet will be organizing, together with the Commission, an event to kick off the European Digital Innovation Hubs, and hopefully mid-summer next year, the first European Digital Innovation Hubs will emerge and start to collaborate with each other. I would like to end this panel discussion, but not before I ask you to also participate in the Meet the Speakers that will come afterwards. There is some information in the chat, I think, where to be connected to that panel discussion or Meet the Speakers discussion. So thank you for listening, and hopefully we'll see you there.